Hey, it's Mike with Become the Night, and welcome to this episode of Mike. The music snob. Dude, I'm using a green screen now. I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna have access to it, but since I do, I'm gonna scratch a couple things off my bucket list. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, welcome back, you plebs. Over the last year or so, we've seen a lot of copyright controversy on YouTube, especially coming from its native creators. Between false copyright claims, disputed interpretations of fair use, and how to properly monetize claimed videos, it's been an emotional and confusing time. There's actually a coalition of YouTubers coming together now trying to fight against all these unjust copyright claims and to change the DMCA, or the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's a very exciting time to be in media right now. But native YouTubers are not the only ones who have gripes about the DMCA. Back in June of this year, Taylor Swift, U2, and over 180 additional artists signed an open letter to Congress. In the letter, they expressed their dismay about the DMCA's ability to protect musicians' property, or more specifically, the fact that they have seen diminishing royalty returns, whereas the companies that host their music have been seeing massive profits. So on the surface, you think, okay, I can see that. Or you think, they're just a bunch of rich, spoiled people. Both answers are a little right, but mostly wrong. At least in my opinion, and let's be honest, my opinion's pretty f***ing awesome. So today I'm telling you why the DMCA is outdated. Or more specifically, why these whiny bitches need to shut their gobs. Let's break it down. Alright, let's start at the beginning of this love note. Dear Congress, off to a good start. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act is broken and no longer works for creators. That's funny. That's the same thing YouTubers are complaining about when you filed all those false copyright claims. That whole fair use thing was really more of a side note. To continue. As songwriters and artists who are a vital contributing force to the US and to American exports around the world. Okay. Does anyone else think that this was written by Donald Trump? Frankly, our contribution is huge. We have so many exports. Exports all over the world. They call us the export machine in China. Anyway. We are writing to express our concern about the ability of the next generation of creators to earn a living. Alright, this is where I'm gonna make my first serious point. Basically, to sum up what they're saying without going further into the letter, they're trying to say that by all these diminishing royalties, people aren't gonna be able to be full-time musicians anymore. They're gonna see a super huge loss in jobs. I'd love to know where they got that idea, because according to Northwestern University School of Law, only about 6% of the income for the vast majority of musicians comes from recorded music. As I've said before, the lion's share comes from playing shows and selling merch. But the Recording Industry Association of America, or RIAA, released a report not too long ago that showed a correlation between the loss in revenue stream of royalties and the decrease in full-time musicianships. They got their number from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You might sound smart when you use those words, but you're still a dumbass. What they don't tell you is that those surveyed were under the employ of an organization. So it didn't include any independent musicians, which last time I checked was
most of us.
Also, the two highest categories for total jobs, which also saw the biggest loss, were for performing arts companies and religious organizations. Yeah, those guys are dominating my Pandora station right now. And quite to the contrary, if you include independent musicians, the number of full-time working musicians almost doubled from 2003 to 2012. So, needless to say, they're full of shit. Alright, let's see what else they're being disingenuous about. The existing laws threaten the continued viability of the songwriters and recording artists to survive from the creation of music. Aspiring creators shouldn't have to decide between making music and making a living. Please protect them. So they're basically saying, think of the children! The exact words they chose were survive from the creation of music. Last time I checked, every time you play a show, you're creating music. And considering that's where most musicians get most of their income, they have no right to bitch. As far as having to decide between making music and making a living, welcome to the real world, dude. As crazy as it sounds, music doesn't actually contribute that much in the way of production. Music can help an economy by enriching the culture, but at the end of the day, it's not very useful in the strictly utilitarian sense. I mean, if it was, everyone would quit their job now and go become an artist, because real work sucks. And the last part, please protect them. Oh, we're gonna come back to this one. They continue. One of the biggest problems confronting songwriters and recording artists today is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This law was written and passed in an era that is technologically out of date compared to the era in which we live. It has allowed major tech companies to grow and generate huge profits by creating ease of use for consumers to carry almost every recorded song in history in their pocket via a smartphone, while songwriters and artists' earnings continue to diminish. Music consumption has skyrocketed, but the monies earned by individual writers and artists for that consumption has plummeted. Basically what they're saying is, people are listening to more music, but we're not making as much money as we used to. And they're 100% right. Since digital music came onto the scene, the recording industry elite saw a huge drop-off in profits. Now, you can attribute this to piracy, but there's something else missing from the equation. Not sure what it is. If only there were an economic theory to explain this situation. Whoa, who are you?
Me? I'm a non-scarce resource.
A non-scarce resource? What's that?
Oh, not much, but I can be defined as something that's available in superfluous abundance, which man need not economize.
Whoa, that's cool.
Wowzers, totally. I have no structure of production, no need to expend additional resources of production, and most importantly, no prices.
But wait, I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Oh, silly. I'm things like air, rocks, dirt, and information.
Information?
Yeah, information. Like that stuff that's stored on your computer.
So are you saying that digital music is merely a form of information?
I sure am, Timmy.
My name's not Timmy.
That's right. Well, I gotta go. Huzzah!
Oh, you saw nothing. So as my friend here just said, digital music is a non-scarce resource. Essentially, it's a resource that has so much supply that demand will never be able to meet it to determine a price. That is why piracy and other means of distribution for this are so easy, because it's virtually infinite. Because it is so easily available and its abundance is virtually infinite, as an economized good in the marketplace, its value should be next to nothing. But Mike, you're a musician. Are you saying you don't want to get paid for your music? Are you saying you're giving your music away for free? Eventually? Yeah, I will be giving my music away for free, or at very most on an honor system donation. Let's take away the live shows and the merchandise for a second and just focus on recorded music. Even though I know I can go and get this music for free, I still decide to go and buy music from bands that I like. I buy physical CDs. Why? Well, first of all, because physical CDs sound a hell of a lot better than digital quality, but also because I want to support the bands that I like. I am voluntarily giving them my money when I know I can get their stuff for free, because their work is that important to me that I want to fund them so they can make more of it. This is what's called being a patron. The music industry elite has lost the concept of patronage. I mean, maybe some of the artists have an idea of what it is to have patronage, but really their understanding is built on a house of cards. The music industrial complex that is in place right now is dependent upon the DMCA, the same document that they're complaining about. Without it, they would be subject to the full force of, what was that word again? Oh yeah, the market! Back in the day when recorded music had to be kept on a physical copy, it was a lot easier to keep track of all of this stuff, and the law worked a lot better. I mean, you had to transport it from place to place. You couldn't just walk out of the store with a record or with a cassette. I mean, you could, but you'd probably get arrested. And making duplicates was a lot harder. Now with digital music, you can share a song with the entire world in just a few clicks, which makes it a lot harder to keep track of. So the music industry elite doesn't want to protect artists, they want to protect their monopoly. The DMCA protects their non-scarce resource and allows it to be an economized good when naturally it would not be economized. And now that the technology is proving them wrong, they want it to be revamped so they can keep doing things the way they've been doing it, keeping us locked into a fabricated system that benefits them. They want to protect their money. And by having these large amounts of money, it ensures they have the best industry contacts, the best resources, so that any startup musician that tries to do his own thing and doesn't want to play by their rules is shut down. This is what we call a business cartel. The digital music revolution is threatening the way they've done business for many decades, and they're afraid. I mean, financial uncertainty is going to make anybody afraid. But Mike, there are thousands of jobs that depend upon the way things have always been done. Do you really want all of these jobs to be lost? Have they worked really hard on their music? Yes. Do they deserve to be paid in some fashion? Yes. Do they get the ability to tell individuals what to do with information that they now possess?
No!
Will some jobs be lost? Yes, but the business model will adapt. New jobs will come in. These jobs will come back. This is already happening during this revolution without the permission of the government or these business cartels. Their last-ditch effort to keep things the way they like it is reforming this law. All right, let's put this into perspective. Take away the money, take away the exclusive distribution channels, take away the royalties that they get from playing their stuff online and from radio and from their digital downloads. And then have all of these top artists for all of these music labels go and open a Patreon account where they pay you not for your product, but because they just like you. How would they fare then? They would have to rely on talent, or in other cases they'd call this merit, in order to get to the top, and not rely on a machine or cultural bias to get them there. But it's a lot easier to blame tech companies for providing an awesome service, I suppose. So what do you think? Does the music industry need to wake up? Let them know by liking and sharing this video. As a matter of fact, go ahead and tweet it at Taylor Swift and U2. I would love to have a conversation with them. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Rock on! Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like down there. Share it around some social media, that'd be awesome. Show it to your mom. No, don't show it to your mom. If you want to keep tabs on when my videos are coming out, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Become the Night. And again, I want to give a very special thanks to Tommy Barnes. See you in the next video.